This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. And there's your 10-minute countdown. For all the hellos. Hello, Karen K. Jen H. Kubi. Michelle Nicholas. Julie W. Spunky Steph. Angie Pangie. Zozo. Julie W. Oh, thanks Julie W. and Kubi for the super chats. Oh, in the middle of nowhere bear. I didn't even know that was a name there for a second. And Kim F. Sharp Harp. Chrissy. Sincere. Is it Sir? What is it? Sincere? Who the heck knows? Thank you, Chrissy. I always want to say that your last name, too. Oh my god, Gene Fish is here, everybody. Wow! I'm here! Hello, everyone! Stop the presses! Everybody cares, Gene. Everybody cares. I always do. You know, it's just part of those things when people announce that, hey, I'm back, everybody! And we say, well, we didn't even notice you were gone.
Gosh, Gray, you're so mean!
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you always wonder why people say that, you know? Hey, I'm back, everybody! Like, we were just all waiting. Like, nobody was even conversing when you were gone, and then when you came back, we would... Well, it's different to say you're here, because now people know you're here. It's merely the I'm back comment. Oh, and for those of you out there, you know, the next to your name, the light and dark, all that kind of stuff, it's meaningless. I mean, I hope you realize that, right? There's no meaning whatsoever to the 5.2 dark or 4 point whatever. It's just it's like a joke, okay? So I hope it doesn't offend you. It doesn't mean anything. I figured, Chrissy, I figured. It's not like a Ouija board or, you know, some sort of a voodoo doll kind of thing. Huh? I don't even know what you're saying, Bob McLean. Yeah, as I mentioned, though, I'll probably change them up pretty soon here, just because, you know, you can do that. Why not, right? I don't need to keep them forever, you know. I said that the other day. Well, I can't choose whether you're light or dark. Ten seconds of hellos. Oh, it's all done, everybody. That's pretty good, the way that transitioned. Come on. Man, that was... Yeah, so just realize it that the numbers next to your name, if you're a channel member, whether, you know, they're not real. Okay? So it's important to realize that. I thought it was kind of obvious, but, you know. Yes, and if you're not a channel member, please do so. Unless you're offended by the colors next, I mean the numbers next to your name. All right? Okay. What's that sound? Here, hold on, I gotta go check something out. I don't know what that is. I was like, the new wave oven was like, pretty wild. Yep, EVP all the way, man, all the way. Oh, I heard what it said. It says, how come there's no audience? I don't know, I haven't even checked. I'm sure it's about, what, 82? Oh, 93. Okay, not too bad. Okay, this is our last night until donation night. And that's our, you know, the donation night's always the bigger push. But, let's see, what do we... I gotta... Hold on. Gotta get the chat in there. And there it is. Okay. One of a kind. I like saying that name. One of a kind. Art. Right? I think my light's too bright or something. Nah, I don't know if I can fix that. Forget it. So I've just finished recording the 4 pages of that, the video. So I just finished recording it. Oh God! You know, I feel like my arm's getting a little bit stronger. It's been kind of cool to actually be able to, you know, like I can reach over and touch the shoulder now without actually it hurting that much. I don't know if you guys remember before, but I could barely go to like right there. But now I can reach over, so what a stupid thing to be excited about. Oh wow, I can touch my shoulder. Whee! You know, no, it's not available. I'm just recorded my voiceover. And now I'm talking to Mrs. Shank is her name, and she was the one that was a friend, and she's the one that sort of kept the case alive over the years. And she's been sending me some photos that I can put in there, but shouldn't be too long now, maybe a couple days, I would think. And that'll be the very first one. And there might be some more I'm just going to do on my own because they're shorter, you know, maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. You know, what's interesting is my wrist I can lift now. See, it's this move right here, going like this, like you're revving a motorcycle deal. but it's my left hand. Man, I couldn't even. If you just put a finger, just went like this. A feather floated down out of the sky and landed here. I couldn't lift it up. But now I can put 5-pound weights in there and do it. Not that that's a lot, but so definitely I feel like things are coming back. Hopefully in like 2 months I'll feel pretty decent. But it might take longer, like a year or so to. Yeah, it's decent progress, I guess. Progress that I never should have had to make. Alright, somebody sent me this right before the show right here. This missing girl. I think she ran away, to be honest with you. Hey, thanks, Chrissy! Yeah. I mean, we usually have a big push on donation night too, but
donation night is 1 night away / KitKat inspired donation. Ocean wave, 2 hearts, sparkles.
I had a really nice donation on PayPal from somebody, and that's usually what I can make, so I can make it an actual decent number. Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah. Very cool. All right, so an 11-year-old girl disappeared from her Loma Linda home, or bedroom, in the middle of the night, triggering frantic search for her safe return Sunday. Hey, thank you. In the middle of nowhere, bear. Mini Reform School for Hughes. Where in the world is L. Dot? I don't know where she went. I don't know why she got so upset. I was just goofing around with her. I thought people realized the jokes. Some things I just find being funny. Like, oh shit! Right in my ear again. Thank you.
Mini Reform School for the Hughes. Where in the world is L. Dot?
Yeah.
Still, heart, you.
Yeah. Where are you, L. Dot? Yeah, okay, so here we go. An 11-year-old girl disappeared from her Loma Linda bedroom in the middle of the night, triggering a frantic search for her safe return Sunday. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department and the family of Leativa Nua are asking the public's help in finding her. I think they came from Hawaii. The family ordeal began Sunday morning with the full household still asleep. Lativa's mother headed out to the store to buy milk for pancake breakfast when she looked up and saw that her daughter's second-story window screen had been torn out. See, right when I heard that, I thought, well, gosh, she probably just broke out. How do you know it was, you just kick it out and it looks like it was torn out. I mean, you don't know somebody from the outside. That was my initial thought. Let's see. And it was the second-story window screen had been torn out. She raced inside, found her daughter's bed empty. Her child's cut hair lay upon the mattress. Okay, well, see, and then as soon as I read that, I was like, okay, well, I mean, you think the killer came in the house and just said, hey, cut your hair really quick. I don't know. It just, nobody does. Or, the abductor. It sounds like something she planned to do. Like she was probably just really tired of, whatever it is. She came from Hawaii, apparently. She had a bunch of friends over there, but when she came here, because of COVID, there's no school, and she was feeling, maybe she was feeling a little bit lonely. The family had no idea what happened to Leativa, The family's ordeal began Sunday morning with the full household. Let's see. She raced inside and found her daughter's bed empty. Her child's cut hair lay upon the mattress. The family had no idea what happened to Leativa or where she could be, said Lutu Sanchez. They immediately called police and began handing out flyers around the community asking for help finding Leativa. Deputies have been searching for the girl using patrol deputy, canine, and sheriff helicopter, according to San Bernardino Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer Cindy Bachman. The information has been shared with our surrounding law enforcement agencies, and a child is missing alert has been activated. Deputies are contacting residents in the area, and flyers are being posted. At this time, deputies have not located the youngest girl. And that's her right there. Definitely, you can see the Hawaiian look there. Hey, hold on one second. All right. So there she is. She's only 11 years old. She is a super quiet girl. She does all the chores. See, it sounds like they were making her, I don't know. Maybe that's just sort of traditional or something, but she does all the chores because she is the only girl with 4 brothers. Well, why the hell wouldn't the brothers be doing chores? So at least you're giving a little hint there, you know. But she's a really happy girl, a happy child. Of course she is, doing all the chores in the house, and the brothers don't have to do a damn thing. Very spoiled by her dad because she's the only girl. You know. So maybe that's true. Who knows? But it's interesting that you brought this up right here. Why did we need to know that she does all the chores because she's the only girl with 4 brothers? You know. I don't even know why we needed to know that part. They just moved here from Honolulu, and she doesn't know anyone here because the schools are closed. All her best friends are still in Hawaii. Leativa's grandparents recently moved in with the family, and the family doesn't go out much because of the coronavirus, she added. The family moved to the area to Leativa's mother, or so Leativa's mother could attend medical school at Loma Linda University. Leativa is described as about 5'6" with short cut brown hair. She was last seen Sunday between 3 and 5. Anyone with information about her whereabouts can call her family at 808-783-5552, 808-778-1040, or 808-799-2826. So it doesn't sound like, you know, they didn't say to call the police or anything like that. It was a house full of people in a quiet neighborhood. You just don't expect this. Well, because I think she just snuck out. You know, like she kicked out the window. Maybe this person went up and did help or whatever. And then she exited. I think the cut hair inside the house is pretty telling, don't you guys think? Yeah. So, again, I just think it's a little interesting. She's a super quiet girl. She does all the chores because she's the only... Why did we need to know? That's such an odd thing to even say. Why not just jump right over here? She's a really happy girl. She's spoiled by her dad because she is the only girl. Instead, you put in she's not... She does all the chores because she's the only girl with 4 brothers. All right? So I think they realized something was bothering her, and that's why the mom was even a little bit just immediately, oh my God, and ran upstairs seeing the window like that. You know, really panicky right off the bat. And I think that's a hint of why maybe the girl was a little bit upset. Like, why should I have to do all the chores? You know, and then she also doesn't know anybody in the area. Maybe she met some, I don't know, online. Thanks, Karen K. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for that. I think they'll find her. You know, it could be something really bad, but it sounds like there's a good chance she's still out there. Thanks, Karen K. And look at, she's one of the good Karens. She probably hates the shows when I say, oh, look at that person, she's just a total Karen. But I always say, other than our Karen. Yeah. Yeah, the good Karen. There you go. Yeah, see? All right, here is, this is something, though, I found while I was just looking at that last article, and this was an article below it. This is crazy right here. Listen to this one. Women's mother and sister fight off and kill her attacker. And this is from today. According to police, a man who broke into a South Pasadena home and began strangling his ex-girlfriend was killed by her family. A 40-year-old domestic violence suspect who broke into his estranged ex-girlfriend's home and began choking her was killed when the woman's mother and sister came to her aid Saturday, according to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Well, good job. Girl power. The Los Angeles County, but watch. Wait, what you know? Okay, I mean, here's what I hope. I hope to God that the racial component of this doesn't mean that the two girls were white and the person they killed was black, because then the media will jump all over it. Now it's a big story. Okay. Now, if it's the other way around, you know, we'll just forget it. A 40-year-old domestic violence suspect who broke into his estranged ex-girlfriend's home and began choking her was killed when the woman's mother and sister came to her aid Saturday, according to Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office identified the man as Justin Goss of Glendale. South Pasadena police officers were dispatched to a domestic violence call shortly before 10 a.m. Saturday in the 530 block of 5 Oaks Drive, Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies Sean Dubusky said. What was his name? Justin Goss. That's not really too common, right? Oh boy. God, I think I might have just guessed that right on the money. Hold on a second. I don't know. That was just totally random. I don't really know for sure. Can't, it didn't just pop right up.
And we're learning more about a deadly stabbing in South Pasadena. Sheriff's deputies say a man broke into a home and attacked his estranged girlfriend. It happened around 10 o'clock this morning on 5 Oaks Drive next to the 110 freeway. Deputies say while the man was beating and choking the woman, her mother and sister came out and stabbed the attacker.
Wow.
That man was pronounced dead on the scene.
Awesome. God, that's great. I don't have any sort of compassion for the victim. It's weird. Like none. You know, I don't feel any sort of, oh, couldn't they have done? No, that guy would have killed the girl, and they did what they needed to do. As a matter of fact, the mom should get a medal of some sort. LA County Coroner identified the man. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, we already had the name. Justin Goss of Glendale. So there isn't really, I can't find a picture of the guy or anything like that. Suspect stabbed, beaten to death with golf club. Oh, man. After attacking a strange girlfriend. Man, they just went nuts. A man was beaten and stabbed to death with a golf club after police say he broke into a home and attacked his estranged girlfriend. South Pasadena officers responded to the 500 block of Five Oaks Drive around 10 a.m. Saturday regarding a domestic violence call. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the front window shattered and heard a woman screaming from inside. As officers made entry through the broken window, they found a man in his 40s stabbed and beaten. Police say the man broke into the house and attacked the estranged girlfriend. While the suspect was in the process of beating and choking the woman, her mother and sister came to her aid. During the altercation, the suspect was stabbed and beaten with a golf club. He was pronounced dead at the scene. God, that's just so great. Man, it's the greatest. So there you go, everybody. Team up. Yeah, that's like the feel-good story of the week. Yeah. Yeah, that was a totally random one that just popped up on the screen when I was looking at that missing person, the girl there. It just sort of popped up. Totally random. That was one of the very few that didn't show up in a feed somewhere that or emailed to me. Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay. Gosh, Greg, can you turn down your music a little bit? How about you turn up your freaking speakers, huh? All right, here we go. I'm going to do a couple Iowa cold cases, and then maybe we can do something where people, you can call in or, whatever the hell you want to do. Yeah, I do. Well, here's what I do, everybody. I do that. I have an argument with my alternate voices, okay? So I do that. Like, I have this conversation with them because it's such a repetitive thing that I've seen so many times that it's just, oh God, it's like this conversation that just never ends. People are always telling me how to do things, how to run stuff, and it's like, just, if you don't like it, go do something else. Please. Thank you. Because I'll tell you one thing to keep me doing what I'm always doing is when you're trying to tell me how to do something. Hey, Greg, here's what you need to do. I don't care if they're like normal suggestions. Like, hey, have you ever thought of doing this or that? That's cool. But when I'm doing something that you want me not to do, that's not good. It's not going to work. Yeah. Like somebody suggested maybe having when people call in a wheel that you spin around and ask them about a case or something, maybe. That doesn't sound bad. But I'm talking about the other stuff. Yeah, I don't know what that means, California Bambino, but we're just gonna. I don't want any comments on it yet because we haven't even talked about it. Okay, so whatever you're saying, great. All right, here we go. This age here is wrong. She was only 80. Authorities were investigating Wednesday the death of an elderly woman in the small Dallas County community. The body of Miss Emma Lewis, 84, she's 80, was found late Monday in her home by a neighbor. Local and county officials said they were treating the case as a homicide and ordered an autopsy. The Iowa Bureau of Criminal Investigation has entered the case. Officials said they thought Mrs. Lewis may have been the victim of a burglar because her purse was believed missing. Right. And so here she is. How do you know? How do you know, Gene, if it pisses you off yet? Do you guys actually go, like, when you read the title, you go look it up so you can be prepared and, like, just wait for the show sometimes, you know? It's just, it doesn't really matter, you know? It's crazy. God, I sure as hell up now. Okay. Emma Lewis, 80, was a shy, friendly woman. She was only about 5'3" and weighed no more than 100 pounds. Her eyesight was failing. In fact, she was legally blind. So, I mean, the killer must not have known her, right? Because if you knew she was blind, you wouldn't have killed her to keep her from, you know, telling people what you look like or something. That's okay. I'm just teasing. I mean, if you guys looked it up, it doesn't really. It's not. It's just, why not just wait anyways, right? Because then it's more interesting instead of going, hey, wait, Gray, did you say the part about the? Oh, okay, well, you're gonna get to that, okay. You know, that's the part that's, you know, you can avoid that. All right, her eyesight was failing. In fact, she was legally blind, according to friends, relatives, and neighbors. She wouldn't hurt or say harsh words about anyone. She used to invite neighbor children to pick flowers from her garden. The widow of a coal miner. They didn't ever give out the address anywhere, and I couldn't find it anywhere. That's what's weird. That's one of the strange things back then. They almost always, they'll tell you, hey, what's his face lives at 22531, and they just never said anything. Yeah, I saw that, Gene. You said that above. The widow of a coal miner. She was a woman of modest means. She always kept the doors locked. Clifford Applegate, a neighbor, and I even looked up Clifford Applegate, you know, trying to figure out, like, you know, who, where those people lived way back then, and still didn't find it. I don't think I was in her house but once or twice in the 15 years we've lived next door. Yet a week ago, Monday, between 7 and 7:30 p.m., someone entered her small, well-kept white frame house here and beat her to death, apparently for what little money she might have had in her purse. Emma's body was found. Well, why would you kill her to get the money out of a purse? Emma's body was found by a close friend, Phyllis Hinkson, 57, of Waukee. So she lived in, this is in Waukee, Iowa. Or maybe it's like Waukee, or, you know, I don't know how to pronounce it. Waukee. Lying face up on the floor near the bedroom. That's where she was found. So she was lying on the floor, face up near the bedroom. The time was shortly after 9 p.m. Emma had drowned in her own blood from multiple face and head wounds, an autopsy showed. Blood from the wounds had blocked her nasal passage and windpipe. Jeez. Police, Dallas County Sheriff's officials, and Iowa Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI agents, have been baffled by the slaying. They said they have no suspects, no weapon was found, there were no signs of forcible entry. The only indication of motive is Emma's still missing purse. Sheriff Robert DeCamp said investigators haven't determined whether Emma was beaten with fists or bludgeoned to death. The slaying, I mean, she must have just been absolutely pummeled over and over by this barbarian. So just like Gene was saying above, it makes her really angry. The slaying and dearth of clues have upset some of the 1,500 residents at this community about 12 miles west of Des Moines. A few, mostly widows like Emma, are afraid to stay alone at night. Well, no, I mean, just get Sheriff Toby Lesenby over there, and he'll just tell you, there's no reason you should feel upset at all. I mean, we haven't caught the guy, and apparently he breaks into old ladies' homes and kills them, but yeah, just don't worry about that. The slaying and dearth of clues have upset some of the 1,500 residents. Okay. Law enforcement officials, didn't find a thing in that house out of place, said Applegate, 62. Emma's neighbor. They didn't even find his suspicious fingerprints, or any suspicious fingerprints. All they told me was that they had some palm prints that couldn't be used for identification. Applegate, who is retired, said the last time he saw Emma alive was 2:30 p.m. that Monday when she... That's her house right there. When she left the house to do some shopping. He figured she was home by 3:15 because she never stayed uptown more than 45 minutes. Applegate said he and his wife... So that's Clifford Applegate. Let me try this guy really quick. And he'd be about 100 and something at this point. Yeah. So what was he, 60? Be 46 plus... Here, let me try something else. Clifford Applegate, and that would be what was it again? Yeah, Waukee, I mean. Iowa. I wonder if that one would be his kid. Because this one guy lives in Iowa. Forget it. Too much time. Applegate said he and his wife, Aline, 59, went to Ankeny about 5 p.m. to visit some friends. So she would be 105 because it was 46 years ago. To visit from friends, and when they returned home at 10 o'clock, there were police cars everywhere. They were there in response to a call from Phyllis Hinkson, who had phoned Emma about 8 p.m. to remind her of a doctor's appointment. And that was the following day. There was no answer. When Hinkson called at 9 p.m., there was still no answer. She became worried and drove over to the house. She found the porch light on and the front door open, said Applegate. I just don't understand it. She was very cautious. Even myself, if I went over to see her about something, she would talk to me through the door. Rick Volkmer. Now, I looked up Rick Volkmer. He was a neighbor across the street. He was only 32 years old. And I figured that one for sure will show up in there, because that would make him 70. Let's see. Actually, it'd be 44 plus 32, 76 years old. So Brick Volkmer, 32, who works for a Des Moines food store and lives across the street, said, I can't figure out why they'd beat her that way. She was just a little bit, she was a little bitty gal. Applegate's wife, Aline, said she always said she hoped to stay in her home until she couldn't see to take care of herself, and then she supposed she would have to go to a nursing home. Then she supposed she would have to go to a nursing home. The Applegate's daughter, Beverly Raffskull, 25, visiting from Minneapolis, said everyone she grew up with liked Emma because Emma liked all kids. Beverly said that just a few weeks ago, Emma invited her 19-month-old son, Aaron, over to her yard to pick some flowers. Applegate said there are a number of coal miner widows living alone in I don't know if it's Waukee. Do you guys know how to pronounce that? Looks like Waukee, like Milwaukee, but just Waukee. And many of them are upset and nervous about what has happened. We all are, and we'll be glad when they pick someone up, but I think it has to be the hardest on the older women living alone, and there are at least 5 of them in the neighborhood. One widow in the neighborhood, Helen Lemer, 70, stays in her son's nearby home at night, and she will until the killer is found. Well, she must have lived in her son's home until she passed away because they never caught the guy. Mrs. Lemer, one of Emma's close friends, described Emma as a timid woman. I'd go to the Senior Citizens Center, but I never could get Emma to go, said Mrs. Lemer. It made her nervous, the crowds. She wasn't one to go out. She was a very quiet woman. I don't think she ever did anybody any harm, but she was very independent. She didn't want anything from anybody for free. I remember one time a young person took us into Des Moines for shopping, and Miss Lewis gave me $1 for the ride. I said, "You give it to him." And she said, "Well, you know him better. You give it to him." I always told the young people to take the money she offered because it made her feel better. Emma was born September 2nd, 1896. I mean, that's crazy, right? In Heitman, a small coal mining town near Albia. That's when, I mean, cowboys were still walking around, right? I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's weird how you get the sort of a one-generation shift over there, all the way back to cowboy days. This is 1976, I think. Yeah. Her father was killed in an accident in the Heitman mine when she was 6 years old. So in 1904? No, 1902. Her 2 surviving sisters, Sigurd Johnson, 82, of Albia, and Vera Fisher, 70, of Newton, remember Emma as a very shy person who never attended social affairs and never would have hurt anyone. So her dad died before there was even cars driving around. Emma married Ivan Lewis, a coal miner in Centerville, in 1921. They lived in various Monroe County coal mining towns before moving to Waukee in the mid-1940s. Ivan died about 13 years ago. They had no children. She was just one sweet little lady, said Applegate. I don't know how else you could describe her. And these are, for some reason, they put these neighbor shots up like they're mug shots, right? This is the guy that lived across the street, and these are the other neighbors, you know. I mean, why don't you go ahead and just put some serial numbers right below their name or something? Okay, so that's actually her picture right there. You know, she was actually, when she was younger, she was pretty. There was a picture in one of these articles. All right, let's see. Emma Lewis, 80, was a shy, friendly woman. She was only 5'3" and weighed no more than 100 pounds. This is the breakdown on that Iowa site. Her eyesight was failing. In fact, she was legally blind, according to friends, relatives, and neighbors. She wouldn't hurt or say harsh words about anyone. She used to invite neighbor children to pick flowers from her garden. The widow of a coal miner, she was a woman of modest means. She always kept the doors locked. Clifford Applegate, a neighbor, said, and I don't think I was in her house but once. Okay, so a lot of the stuff we've already read because whoever writes these comes up with the same articles and uses them. Monday between 7 and 7:30, someone entered her small, well-kept frame house here and beat her to death. Emma's body was found by a close friend, Phyllis Hinkson, 57, of Waukee, lying face up on the floor near the bathroom. The time was shortly after 9 p.m. Emma had drowned in her own blood from multiple face and head wounds, an autopsy showed. They said that they have no suspects, no weapon was found, there were no signs of forcible entry. The only indication of a motive is Emma's still missing purse. Sheriff Robert DeCamp said investigators haven't determined whether Emma was beaten with fists or bludgeoned to death. The slaying and dearth of clues have upset some of the 1,500 residents of the community about 12 miles west of Des Moines. She found the porch. Let's see. The door was open. She found the porch light on and the front door open. So when she got there, the porch light was on. So that's probably Emma turning on the porch light to somebody coming to the house. I doubt the killer would turn the porch light on. And then they went inside, did something, and then left and didn't bother shutting the door. I just don't understand it. She was very cautious. Even myself, if I went to see her about something, she would talk to me through the door. Yep, we read that. Brick Volkmer, 32, works for a Des Moines food store and lives across the street, said I can't figure out why they beat her that way. She was just a tiny little gal. Applegate's wife. I mean, it seems like it was almost personal. Like you're going to go in there and just pummel an 80-year-old over and over again so bad that she dies by inhaling her own blood and drowning from it. Yeah, it's just a freaking nightmare. Yeah. I mean, none of this other stuff's any different than what we've gone over. Catherine 80, Emma lay dead on her back. I think most of this is the same, but see, that's her when she was. I don't know if I can get there, but you can see right there when she was back in the day. You know, it's probably 19. Shit, I don't know, 30 something. So that's basically it on that one. They don't have any information of who did it. You know, maybe they have suspects, but they haven't really said anything. What is Emmergerd? Is that oh my god said in some weird accent? Yes, everybody. Now we are on the final stretch. We got tonight and then tomorrow. All right. So if you can pretend I'm a cup of coffee tonight, we can get through tonight, and then boom, tomorrow we can get that final push in and try to get up to the $2,000 or the $20,000 mark. All right. We can do it. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, so the next one is Jane Ellen Wakefield. Jane Ellen Wakefield. Okay, so this is sort of interesting because I think this is when she was just missing, I believe. Or I think she's still missing. Oh, hold on, let me check. Hold on. I think I'm... Yeah, she's missing. Okay. And then you see this girl here, Nikki Barker, in this first one. Police appeal for help in locating missing women. So Jane Wakefield here, she went missing on September 6th, 1975. And so did this Nikki Barker, went missing as well, okay? Now it turns out, after reading this article, it says, Iowa City Police today released photographs of 2 women who disappeared under similar mysterious circumstances within the past 2 weeks. Thanks, Mary Clark. In releasing the photographs, detectives said they are no closer to locating the woman and appealed for public's help in establishing their whereabouts. Nikki Barker, a 19-year-old University Hospital, 19-year-old University Hospital nurse's aide, has been missing since August 30th when she was dropped off by her boyfriend in downtown Iowa City. So, Nikki Barker, she was a nurse's aide, has been missing since August 30th when she was dropped off by her boyfriend in downtown Iowa City. Jane Wakefield, a 26-year-old math and reading teacher at Penn School in North Liberty, was last seen by friends about 2:30 a.m. Saturday. Though detectives say they don't know whether the 2 disappearances are related, it is known that similar personal effects of both women were found in their respective residences. They also refuse to say they believe foul play may have been involved in either of the disappearances, but admit that foul play is always a possibility when persons disappear without notifying anyone. Miss Barker is described as being 5'6", 125 pounds, and having shoulder-length brown hair. Miss Wakefield is described as being 5'2", 112 pounds, having short, light brown hair, and wearing gold wire-rimmed glasses. Anyone having information regarding this, call the police, but those numbers aren't any good anymore. Thanks, Zozo! Right. So, but here's the thing, is after I saw these both together, I looked her up, Nikki Barker. And then I found that there was an article in November of that year. So we're looking at September, October, November, like 2 or 3 months later, right? And I just wanted to see what happened to her. So she was rescued, with quotes around it. Okay. Good welcome. Remember that one? So look at Nikki Barker, 19, Oxford, a former nurse's aide. This is just an aside from the regular story. Nurse's aide at University Hospital who's disappeared with a group of Jesus people almost 3 months ago is now back to normal, with quotes, says Michael Trock, Pima County, Arizona deputy coroner. He said the woman who disappeared September 2nd was taken from the group last Wednesday near San Francisco, the home of the cult wackos over there. Trossock said he helped Cheryl Serber retrieve her husband, Bruce Serber, former University of Iowa first-year medical student, from the same group when it camped in Pima County on October 23rd. Let's see. Trock said Monday that he flew to California November 16th to prepare a guardianship papers for persons who were to be taken from the group. He said the group is camped in San Mateo and Marin counties in California. After helping Miss Sherber, he said he was contacted by parents nationwide who sought his help. He said he drew up papers making Rick Barker, Nikki's brother, her guardian, and that he drew up 5 other guardianship papers for parents who had contacted him. So they're all deeming them sort of mentally ill with guardianship. Trock, Rick Barker, and other guardians went to the cult campsite in the San Francisco-Oakland area and took 4 persons November 19th. Cult members knew that officials were looking for the other 2 people and hid them. Miss Barker was a typical zombie at first, a brainwashed follower, Trox said. Noting she called him the next morning and thanked him for what he had done. Hey, thanks, Seattle Law Girl. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yep, that's kind of, here's the thing. My channel, what we do over here is we cover cases that most people don't ever cover because they're not popular and cool, and they don't help you get, the sub count. I mean, look at right now. I have 128 people watching. I used to get like 300. I think that was more of an effect because I got put into a different algorithm after I said that my account might have been hacked. So they hid my channel, and then it's never really recovered from that. But it also...
Thank you for covering cold cases. The victims and their families deserve to not be forgotten. You're the crown of cold cases.
Well, thank you. And then the other night, I covered a different case that was more in the news, so I got more people. But the problem is if I don't put more view, like right now, there's probably a couple other lives going on that have more view and talking about Chris Watts and, those kind of things. And I just think it's really disturbing. I think it's even more disturbing how many people are still into going over to channels who talk about Chris Watts and Morphew every single day. I mean, what's interesting to you still at this point? It's scary, scary shit. It's almost like you're brainwashed. You know what I mean? It took less than a day for Joe Alexander, professional cult deprogrammer, to help her adjust from the group's way of thinking, the deputy coroner said. Alexander, with the help of former cult members, uses scriptural arguments to convince a convert that the cult's beliefs are inconsistent with the Bible. See, there you go. The Bible, helped in this case. Alexander had also deprogrammed Serber as well. So Miss Barker is now traveling with Alexander, trying to find ways to get other kids out of the cult. Another university student, James Swanson, a junior from Newton, was found in his parents'... I mean, that's so weird. What are they going all the way out to Iowa to, recruit people to go all the way freaking out to California? That's amazing. How did they get this girl, her? It wasn't like there was internet back then, right? So how did you get her to go, okay, yeah, sounds like a great idea? It's wild. Yeah, Ryan C tried to sneak in a little comment there. Unfortunately, those lead to being blocked from the channel permanently. Okay, whack job. So yeah, go worship on the altar of Joe Biden. He's great. Whew. Yikes. All right, let's see. All right, so now I'm going to get back to the actual missing person case. This is the Jane Ellen Wakefield. She was the other name next to that person. Iowa City Police Thursday drained 2 ponds near the residence of Jane Ellen Wakefield, 26, who has been missing since September 6th. After the 9.5-hour draining had been completed, police did not find the woman's body or other evidence. This is October 3rd, 1975. Let's see. The operation began after officials received a tip from the sheriff's office in Lyon County, Kansas. According to their information, an Emporia, Kansas man said he had heard two male voices in a motel room discussing getting rid of a woman the same way we did that one back in Iowa City in a sewage lagoon. The ponds drained in Iowa City Thursday, while not sewage lagoons, are the two nearest bodies of water to the woman's residence. I mean, what a shot in the dark that is. I mean, God. I mean, there's 1,000 ponds out there. You know? Kansas deputies said the men who overheard the conversation did not report it immediately, and because the conversation reportedly was heard through the walls, I mean, my God, between two motel rooms, the man could not provide a description of the men talking. Friday, acting police chief David Epstein said the decision to drain other ponds was under discussion. Miss Wakefield, a mathematics and reading teacher at Penn School in North Liberty, was last seen at 2:30 p.m. September 6th after she reportedly went from home after bicycling with friends. Early reports that might have left with the religious group called the Jesus People largely have been discredited, according to People. Hey, well, I don't know if DA has watched, this is unrelated, but the IDTV had a show on those two girls, the Lyon sisters. Man, that was a crazy... God. That the detective in the Lyon sister murder solving should win like the highest award possible as a citizen. That it was absolutely incredible what he did there, how he solved that sucker. I mean, it was just unbelievable, unreal, really. Yeah, it was awesome. That's funny because we just talked about that the other night for a minute, you know, because it was related. They were wondering if it was. They were talking about the carnival worker, and remember the other case of the Riker sisters, how she remembers that the guy who abducted her was a carnival worker, and she thinks it's the same people that killed the Riker sisters. Yeah. A lot of strange crap going on out there. Alright, and this next article is about 4 months later. Foul play suspected. Significant evidence indicating foul play has been received in the disappearance of a 26-year-old North Liberty school teacher, Iowa City Police revealed Friday. The investigation into the 5-month disappearance of Mrs. Jane Wakefield, 26, was intensified Friday when police searched the apartment of her estranged husband. Oh, here we go. Husband John A. Wakefield, according to Detective Kenneth L. Stock. Stock said the Iowa Bureau of Criminal Investigation has been asked to assist police. This is just like the one couple that we talked about last night. Estranged. You know, every time you hear estranged, that means they're not together, but they're still married. So then there's going to be a lot of issues at that point. Shortly after Stock's statement, police and BCI agents entered an apartment house with search warrants and plastic evidence bags. Wakefield is believed to reside in the building. Detectives and BCI agents also searched two Iowa City business establishments operated by Wakefield. Mrs. Wakefield was reported missing September 5th. So he owns two business establishments, and she's a teacher. Now, if they got a divorce, she might get part of those business establishments, which I'm sure are worth, that's a lot of asset money. And she's a teacher, so it's not really an asset-driven work. It's just, you're a teacher. So he might be wanting to protect those assets, I think. Miss Wakefield was reported missing September 5th by Penn School principal Larry Sharp after she did not report to work. Police then searched her residence but found no clues to her whereabouts. More than a month later, police dredged 2 ponds near the trailer court where Miss Wakefield had lived. No evidence was found at the time. So here's another, this is only 3 days later, but here's the warrant. The disappearance of Jane Wakefield are working on a theory that she is dead and her body may have been burned. Search warrant issued in the case indicate. And that's actually what happened to one of the Lyon sisters, at least. I mean, that was so brutal. And the Lyon sister, I mean, let me just recap in my head what I remember from it. It's like they were at a mall and they were lured to a vehicle by the carnival worker. You know, his story we don't really know because he changed it 1,000 times, but he kept getting closer and closer to the truth. And it was really pretty amazing how they did this shit. And it was, you know, let's see. They were taken to his family member's house into the basement. And who knows what happened, but at one point they broke the neck of one of the girls and then chopped her up with, I mean, just chopped her up with some kind of like axe or whatever the hell they used. And then they put her body into a duffel bag, brought her way out into the, it might have been both of the sisters though, but only one was chopped up, and they brought her way out into sort of the woods, and there was a huge bonfire that the family had been set up going, and I think they were all aware of what was going on. And they came out and they burnt at least just her body, but you know, they're hoping that maybe the other body's still out there somewhere of the other sister, and that, you know, maybe they gave her at least a, you know, quote, proper burial, you know. Absolutely insane story, though. Hey, thanks, Dan Malone. Good stuff. Well, it must be early for you right now. It must be, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning. All right. The warrants were used Friday to search the residence of Mrs. Wakefield's estranged husband, John, and 2 business operated by Wakefield. There you go. Among evidence police were seeking in the searches, the warrants state, were ashes, bones, or particles, or any body particles or clothing, and any papers describing the commission of a crime by the burning of a body or any other physical evidence of the death of Jane Wakefield or related to her disappearance. The warrants issued Thursday by Judge Robert Osmondson authorized police to search Wakefield's businesses, Magoo's Tavern. Now, let's see where those are. No, those probably aren't even called that anymore, though. But it has the address, though. So 206 North Lynn Street. Must be, yeah, Iowa City, is that right? Yeah. Now it's called Oasis. And this is Wakefield. I don't even have a, hold on. Jane Ellen Wakefield. God, come on. Alright, Jane Ann Wakefield. Thanks. It's another one of those slow nights, QB. Started off pretty good, and then it went. It sounded like this later. It was like one of these. Let's see. Jane Wakefield. Yeah. Okay, this one's called the
Freaks.
Freaks. Generous freaks. Okay, so that is the was called Magoo's Tavern. Magoo's Tavern. Alright, and then 1820 South Clinton Street. Okay, so Magoo's Tavern, North Lynn Street, and Four Cushions Billiards, 1820 South Clinton Street. Okay. So 1820 South Clinton Street. There we go. Oh, so that's not even that far away. It's right there. That's the other business that he had. And this is called Four Cushions Billiards. And that's at 18 to 20. Hey, thanks, Brianna CC. Yeah, so pretty close to each other there. Let's see, Iowa Avenue and public areas hallway. His apartment at 923 Iowa Avenue. Let's see where that is. Okay, so he lived right here in these apartments. And what's his name? John and his, okay, so John Wakefield. Thanks, Lee D. All right. Actually, I don't think we were done with that last one. Okay, so according to an inventory of the property seized attached to copies of the search warrant, evidence taken from Iowa Avenue apartment building included miscellaneous pieces of bone debris. Wow. One piece of metal appearing to be a tooth filing. One small white chip bone-like material. Also taken in the searches, according to the official inventory, were 7 vacuum cleaners, one from the Iowa Avenue address and another from Magoo's, and 5 from Four Cushions. Before the searches were launched Friday morning, police announced that they had received a significant evidence concerning Mrs. Wakefield's disappearance and that they suspected foul play. Since then, officers have declined to comment publicly on the case, except for to say that material seized in Friday's searches is being analyzed in the Iowa Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Mrs. Wakefield, 26, has been missing since September 5th. Yeah, that seems like it's a little bit ahead of their time to be doing all that vacuum cleaner stuff and really just digging, finding that stuff. Miss Wakefield, 26, had been missing since September 5th when she failed to report to work at Penn Elementary School in North Liberty. Well, let's see what that is. Get that all mapped out. Penn Element. Yeah, there it is. Police announced that they had received signal. Okay, Miss Wakefield, 26, had been missing since September 5th, where she was a teacher. At that time, police searched her residence at Bon Air Mobile Home Lodge. Let's see if that's still there. Bon Air Mobile. Wow, that's still there? That's crazy. So she lived in this mobile home area here. I bet you they don't even have street view inside that. That kind of goes right to there, but yeah, it's not a bad place, actually. Not a bad place. Hey, thanks, Flip Treat. I'm not sure what denomination that is, but thank you. Probably, what is that, Sweden or something like that? Nah, it can't be Sweden. Was I right? Okay, maybe I was right. Oh, I was right. Hey, what a good guess, man. My initial thought was correct. Awesome. So I did get that right on my first guess. It's a miracle, everybody. I don't know why. Maybe I knew that from somewhere. Just sort of. Alright, so here we go. Missing woman burned. Burned? Yeah, it's a question. Police apparently are attempting to prove that a North Liberty school teacher missing since September is dead and her body was burned. Search warrants indicate Monday. Or I'm going to try to read this. I got to get practice for the Nefarious channel. Let's see. Police used the warrants Friday to search the residence of Mrs. Jane Wakefield's estranged husband, John, and two businesses operated by him. Search warrants posted in the Johnson County Courthouse stated police were seeking ashes, bones, or any body particulates or clothing, and any papers describing the commission of a crime by the burning of a body or any other physical evidence of the death of Jane Wakefield or relating to her disappearance. The warrants were issued Thursday by 6th District Judge Robert Osmundson and authorized by the search of Wakefield's apartment, his businesses, and public areas, hallways, attic, basement, and incinerator, and all outbuilding. You know what I do on the show when I do my recordings? I might repeat the same sentence about 4 times until I say it right, but I just keep deleting the recording until I get it right. Then I add the sentence to a larger thing, right? Because sometimes you don't want to end up sounding like you're reading something. You know, like I wouldn't go, taken from the apartment building were miscellaneous, let's say, pieces of bone, you know, like that just doesn't sound good. So, hey, thanks, Linda Howe. As in Linda Moldenhow of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles.
Thanks, everyone. Night and love you all.
Well, good night, Linda Howe. Taken from the apartment building were miscellaneous pieces of bone debris, one piece of metal appearing to be a tooth filing, and one small white chip of bone-like material, according to an inventory of property seized. Also taken were 7 vacuum cleaners, including one from Wakefield's residence, one from Magoo's Tavern, a business establishment of his, and 5 from Four Cushions Billiards, his other business. Right? See that? That a little better flow. Okay, then 4 days later we got this one. Linda Howe, as in Linda Moldenhow of the cat. You gotta always put the alien and cattle on those, Linda. I know you're probably trying to steer away from that. Get it? Steer away. Yeah, boy. Yeah, but you should do it. Kit Kat. All right, officers comb interstate in Wakefield investigation. Investigating the disappearance of Jane Wakefield, missing since September 5th, and feared dead. This morning, they searched an area along Interstate 80 for clues. Man, how many times do you hear Interstate 80 in these damn things? Using metal detectors, Iowa City and Coralville Police and Iowa Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI agents, spent about 4 hours searching the area, according to Police Chief Harvey D. Miller. He said they were looking for some of the materials listed on the search warrants, which were used a week ago to search the apartment and businesses of Miss Wakefield's estranged husband, John. The warrant said police were seeking, among other things, ashes, bones, or body particles, indicating they believe Miss Wakefield is dead and her body may have been burned. Miller said the police found some small items along the interstate this morning, but that he did not know what they were. Asked what led authorities to search the interstate area, Miller said the pattern seemed to point in that direction. Man, these guys seem like they were almost like the FBI is now. I mean, they were all over some weird stuff. You know, almost like they had cell phone ping to. Miss Wakefield, 26, was reported missing last September after she failed to show up for work at Penn Elementary School in North Liberty. Alright, so the next article is like 7 months later. You know. So some of these have more information because they're later. Where is Jane Wakefield? A little over a year ago, on September 6, 1975, Jane Ellen Wakefield, 27, of Iowa City, was seen on her bicycle near her mobile home on Lot 217 of the Bon Air Trailer Court. Okay, now we can put that in there. Lot 217, right? Wait, did that move at all though? Like if I did lot 300? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Oh, God, you bastards. That thing was... Oh, wait, right there. Oh, so she might even be on this one right here. Hold on. Could get lucky. That'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Ooh, 214. That looks like 221 maybe. $231, and that one was $230. But interestingly, the one that we just saw over there was way less than that. Maybe they don't really do it in order. That's $235. So maybe that one was not. That was $234, not $214. Yeah, I have a feeling that's probably like over here somehow. Yeah, it looks like 228 right there. I guess we're not going to get to see it, but I think it's more over here somewhere. Thanks, Kubi. Yeah, the mapping part's the most fun for me anyways. Well, it helps me a lot getting everything together in my mind of what's going on. On September 8, 1975, she was reported missing by her principal of the North Liberty School where she was a teacher. Shortly after the woman's disappearance, 2 other people reported missing in the Iowa City area were discovered with a transient religious group that had been camping in the Coralville Reservoir area. A subsequent investigation of campsites of the religious group revealed no connection with the missing woman. Iowa City police say there also was nothing. See, then I'd start over again, right? Iowa City police say there also was nothing in the woman's background that would indicate such a connection, right? So you have to, you read it again, and then you gotta, A police check of her trailer revealed her bicycle at its usual place beside the trailer, and clothing in a location suggesting she had recently taken a shower, police said. Oh boy. Starting to sound like Fretwell. They said the trailer was orderly and that nothing was missing or out of place. Jane Wakefield had not been seen since. Sergeant Patrick Harney, 35, a detective in the Iowa City Police Department, told the Gazette Friday the majority of our leads indicate foul play. A series of lie detector tests have narrowed the list of suspects. Harney confirmed that one major suspect has refused to take such a test, questioning the validity of... Suspect had refused to take such a test, questioning... Probably the husband's questioning, well, it's not valid. Iowa City Police on September 10th, 1975, drained 2 city lagoons near the victim's trailer court. So let's see if those are still there. Lagoons, here we go. There's 1, 2. Probably those are the exact ones that they were doing. Yep. You got that lagoon, that one. Come on, map. What's going on? I can see right through the earth. Look at that. On January 29th, police with search warrants went to the Iowa City Tavern where the woman had worked, an Iowa City apartment house, and a billiard parlor, both managed by her estranged husband, John Wakefield. The warrant for the apartment building, as well as subsequent warrant for the billiard parlor, stipulated that vacuum cleaners could be confiscated. Now, and there goes my stomach. Ashes sifted from the incinerator of the apartment in question were sent to the Bureau of Criminal Investigation Laboratory in Des Moines. Lab analysis of bone fragments found in the incinerator were found to be inconclusive, according to 2 ICPD investigating officers. Subsequently, a stretch of I-80 north of Iowa City was searched by some 20 officers of the Iowa City Police Department. You know, it also sounds a little bit like, what's the one? What's the one in Ohio? My brain's not working right now. You know, the one that the husband killed her and then walked around the block with the black clothing on. For some reason, it's just not like, ding. Yeah, Cheryl Coker, thanks. Sergeant Harney said Friday the investigation of this woman's disappearance still is very active. Wait, hold on.
I'm fired out of it, 10 down, 15 on,
Coker, Cheryl, Coker, Cheryl, Coker,
15,
Cheryl,
20,
Coker,
I'm
Cheryl,
better on 15, better on 20, down 5, better on 30, and 30, and
Hit
30,
the
25,
like button,
better
hit
on
the
30,
like button, hit the
going up
like
30,
button.
sir, 25 of them, you're out, I'm better on 25, better on 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Oh, shit. It is not that we do not have leads that can be actively followed up. Pauline Burkhart, now of Minneapolis, the slain girl's mother, has taken her own action in the case. On Friday, she announced the posting of a $1,000 reward for information concerning her daughter's disappearance. The reward specifically stated that money will be given to anyone who can offer information concerning the persons responsible for my daughter's disappearance. Okay, so then all the way in 1985, you know, you got a little bit more. Let's see if there's anything new in this one. Oh, it made you donate. Wow, that's crazy. Well, thank you. In the middle of nowhere, bear.
Oops. Made me donate. Sorry for interrupting. Playful face.
Geez, Streamlabs. That was like one of the worst readings I've ever heard. Oops. Maybe donate. Yeah, have a little bit of like, hey, Streamlabs, get some intonations going. You know, like have your. Each week, her name appears in the Iowa Department of Public Safety Missing Persons Report and probably will continue to appear there. Let's see. It seems to me if she decided to drop out and take a new identity somewhere along the way, she would have given me a call, says husband John Wakefield. Of course he would have, right? Of Wakefield, 41 of Iowa City. So, wow, that's kind of weird because he was only 31 at the time then. She's either decided never to resurface or she's dead. Says Iowa City Police Captain Patricia Harney, you don't have a body. You have no elements to prove there actually was a death. But it's surrounded by circumstances all pointing to the fact that she's dead. Jane Wakefield has been officially classified as missing longer than any other Iowan. Harney and others who investigated her disappearance 10 years ago also believe she was murdered. John and Jane met in the spring of 1967 while she was a freshman at Morningside College in Sioux City, and he was a graduate student in the business administration of the University of Iowa, according to Jane's mother. John and Jane married in September 1967, so they're married about, 8 years? And Jane transferred to the university. She received a bachelor's degree in psychology in 1970, and taught in the Prairie and Waco school districts before taking a job at Penn Elementary School in North Liberty in August 1975. She was a real nice, loving person, says Hank Reed, Riverside, who was a friend of both Jane and John. She liked kids a lot. That's the reason she went into teaching. Reed says she's convinced Jane is dead, but he says he can't say why he feels that way. John and Jane were estranged at the time of Jane's disappearance. Jane had moved from the couple's apartment to Bon Air Mobile Home Lodge about 6 months before she disappeared. She also filed for divorce. It naturally causes you to think that foul play was involved, says William Kidwell, then an Iowa City police detective and now a private investigator. Jane could be living happily somewhere and no one would even know. Hey, thanks, Susanna Macchiola Padre. Yeah. Jane was 26 when she was last seen September 6, 1978. That means she was like, well, I mean, she was 18 when they got married, I guess. And he was, what, 20... Or, shit, how old? He
Let me have him
31.
head break in 30 minutes to get me to stop babbling at him. It's like torture.
Wait, he's 41 now, so he was 31 and she was 26. That's true, Susanna. You put you in a room with anybody, and they'll confess. Just, how do I get out of here? What do I need to tell you? You know what's weird is what you would be great at is, you know how, like, there's forced coercion, like the, you're being interrogated and they sort of force you to say something. But see, you could do it in a way where they wouldn't get in trouble for it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're just in there, right? And you're just like, yeah, well, okay, what about the time? And the guy's like, oh, God, get me the hell out of here. What do you need me to say? What do you need me to say? Oh, I can't really tell you that. Okay, I did it. And then it's just, boom. And then when they review it later, you just say, I didn't say anything. I never told him to say a damn thing. God, you nailed it. Susanna, I think you're onto something there. Sort of a coerced interrogation passively. You get what I'm saying? She's a new agent for the police department called the passive interrogator, who goes in there and absolutely drives the person being interrogated nuts. So they'll end up telling you just about anything. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love it. Yeah. Hey, you bring Zozo in there with you too, though. Okay. Hey, Dana Dane, how's it going? Yeah, you don't even have to talk about the case, though. That's the beauty of it. You just sit there and talk to them about everything in the world, and they are just, oh my God. No, they'd be like, man, that was so random. What does it have to do? What is that? Oh, what does that mean? Okay, Jane was 26 when she was last seen September 6, 1975. She was bicycling. I think we were already way over here. There was nothing in her home to indicate violence. It would appear that she had left the trailer and was going to come back. Well, how do you know she just wasn't forced out at gunpoint or something? Another Iowa City woman, Nikki Barker, had disappeared. Yep, she was found. And that was a Colt. Kidwell says lab results of the evidence seized failed to show whether the materials were connected to Jane's disappearance. The investigation of Jane's disappearance is still open, but has been inactive since the summer of 1976. Oh yeah, and this is one where There was an article in 1992 that brought up 3 cases. One of them was the one that we talked about last night. And, you know, it's the same story, right? So in her situation right here is burning a path across the country from New York to San Francisco. Interstate 80 is one of the longest highways in the world. It may also be a key to one of the longest recorded searches for a missing person in Iowa history. Jane Wakefield, a school teacher in North Liberty, disappeared without a trace from her Iowa City mobile home more than 16 years ago. At first, police suspected Wakefield, 26, may have left with a Jesus People cult that had been camping near Coralville Lake, but Wakefield's friends and... Oh, geez. Well, it doesn't go... This isn't the whole... It just ends over here. Family believed she was too much on top of things to join a cult. Their beliefs were confirmed when one of her friends searched the cult's camp in Huntsville, Arkansas, about 10 days after Jane vanished. There was no sign of Jane Wakefield. A few weeks later, Iowa City police learned an intriguing conversation in a hotel in Emporia, Kansas. Listening through walls, a man heard a voice say, "We'll get rid of her the same way we did that one back in Iowa City in a sewage lagoon." While admitting the information was sketchy, Iowa City police drained 2 ponds near Wakefield's home at Bon Air Mobile Home Lodge. There was no sign of her. Police later learned the hotel conversation happened in August before she was vanished. Well, so then why even mention it? It's totally unrelated. Investigators later asked psychics for help. Oh boy. Each psychic said she was in a body of water, but gave different locations. Again, the investigation. You don't understand. It doesn't work like that. You gotta develop a relationship with the spirits out there. Okay. So yes, all of us are listening, and we all got a body of water, but the rest of it isn't quite there yet. It's not developed. You get it? Yeah. Investigators later asked psychics for help. Each psychic said she was in a body of water. Born as Jane Hallberg, she grew up near Minneapolis and in 1966 enrolled as a freshman at Morningside College in Sioux City. The next spring, she met and fell in love with John Wakefield, a graduate student in business administration at the University of Iowa. They married in September. You know what I'd like to know is how quickly did John Wakefield get married after she disappeared? She graduated in 1970 and taught in 2 area school districts before accepting a job at Penn Elementary School. While her career was taking off, her marriage was on the decline. She and John were talking about divorce in early 1975. Hank Reed, a friend of both, speculates part of the problem was Jane Wakefield wanted to have children and her husband did not. Well, he didn't want to have children because he wasn't into you. That was the reality of it, is he really just didn't want, he realized later, like, oh man, I want to be with somebody else. He also he knew he was going to get a divorce from her, and he didn't want to have to pay child support on that. So now his only deal is like, oh man, if we get a divorce, she's going to get half of my business. That's true. Yeah, if you just pay him a little bit more, Sarah Beth, all of a sudden About 6 months before she vanished, she filed for divorce and moved from their apartment in a mobile home at Bon Air. So now, he's like, oh crap, those are my businesses. She's going to get part of that. That was also about the time she became romantically... Oh, here we go. That was also the time she became romantically involved with another man. So probably they just weren't getting along at all. She filed for divorce, moved out, and started seeing somebody else. And the husband was like, you're going to divorce me? And you're going to get my stuff? And you're also seeing somebody else? He probably just wigged out. Yeah. As spring turned into summer, police later learned the Wakefield's divorce was being held up over a disagreement. Here we go. About how to divide. Here we go. I told you. There it is. As spring turned into summer, police later learned the Wakefield's divorce was being held up over disagreements about how to divide two businesses owned by John Wakefield. Boom! Okay, so that was it, right? On September 6, 1975, a Saturday, she went on a cross-country bicycle ride with a group of friends. She returned home that afternoon, telling her friends she had to get back for an appointment. A neighbor talked with her later that afternoon and recalled nothing unusual. Let's see. So on September 6, 1975, Saturday, she went on a cross-country bicycle ride with a group of friends. She returned home that afternoon, telling her friends she had to get back for an appointment. A neighbor talked with her later that afternoon and recalled nothing unusual. Late that night, neighbors heard someone yelling or screaming, but weren't sure where it came from. They didn't think much of it at the time. How come nobody ever thinks much of yelling and screaming? Oh, I heard the screaming. I just thought it was some sexual activity, you know? It was... They didn't think much of it at the time because a loud party was being thrown. Oh, there we go. At a nearby home. Okay. So it was a loud party, but you heard some screaming. On Sunday, a friend of Jane Wakefield paid a visit to her mobile home. No one came to the door, and the friend left. Obviously, between Saturday night and Sunday morning, she disappeared. Let's see. When she didn't show for work Monday morning, and attempts to reach her were unsuccessful, school officials called Bon Air. The manager, in turn, called Jane Wakefield's boyfriend, and together they went to her mobile home. Outside, they found her bicycle locked to the yard lamp and her Fiat in its parking space. Inside, they found her purse and other belongings, but no sign of Jane Wakefield. That's when they called the police. Inside the mobile home, detectives found everything in order and clothing in a location that suggested she had recently taken a shower. And it'd be easy just to kind of walk by a mobile home, and if you'd been there before, you knew where the shower was. And I'm sure the husband had been there before, and then he probably listened for the shower, probably waited, saw her got back from her bike trip. I think she got killed. You know how she said, oh, I got to go back out? Well, she obviously was going to take a shower after her cross-country bike ride, right? 4 months later, detectives got what they thought would be their big break. A confidential informant told police that an individual had admitted murdering Jane Wakefield and cremating her body. According to the informant, the individual said he drove to the Cedar Rapids airport on September 6, 1975, and rented a car matching the one driven by Jane Wakefield's boyfriend. The individual then drove to Jane's mobile home late that night and choked her to death with his bare hands. Yeah, and that would make it so there's nothing, you know, you just strangle her and then put her in your vehicle, and there's nothing's going to be happening in the apartment. He put the body in the car trunk and drove to the Iowa City apartment building where John Wakefield lived. There, the individual placed large quantities of charcoal in the trash incinerator, lit it, and dumped the body inside. Wow, it almost sounds like this guy is saying he's a hitman. Interestingly, with an airport again, like that case we talked about the other day, and a similar situation. Remember, the guy, it was in Iowa also, and remember the one that we went over? Where she, and we actually had the daughter call into the show, right? Remember?
After the fire was out, the individual swept the contents of the incinerator into a garbage can. The individual claimed he waited until the next night, drove onto I-80 near Iowa City, pulled to the shoulder, and spread the contents of the garbage can along the ditch. Police have declined to... That's such a specific confession. Police have declined to identify the informant, although they have said the informant was a friend of the suspect. Detectives gave the informant a lie detector test and he passed. Within a few days, police had obtained... You know what? I bet you the friend... He's a friend of John Wakefield. Within a few days, police had obtained search warrants for the apartment building, the trash incinerator, and 2 businesses run by John Wakefield. Police detectives and agents from the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation seized miscellaneous pieces of bone debris, a piece of metal that appeared to be a tooth filing, and a small white chip of bone-like material. Both lab tests could not determine whether the materials were connected to Jane Wakefield's disappearance. I wonder if they could test those now, though. Iowa City Police would like to hear from anyone who may know anything about the apparent murder of Jane Wakefield. Police say they used lie detector tests to narrow the field of possible suspects, although one of the major suspects has refused to take one. Yeah. And then Lynn Schuler is the case we talked about, I think, last night. Remember? Among police, Pogo the alligator ranks among the most notorious reptiles in Cedar Rapids law enforcement history. The title stems from rumors about what happened to Lynn Schuler, who disappeared nearly 20 years ago and hasn't been heard from since. Right. Sounds like something right out of Lion King, right? Or not, what is it? Lion, was that the name of it? What was the name of that show? Tiger King. And let me hit the button again, hold on, because it's going to start. Here we go.
I'm fired out of it on 10 down 15, all of I better dung bear on 15, I better dung bear on 15, 20, I better dung bear on 15, better dung bear on 20, down 5, better dung bear on 30, and 30, and 30, 25, better dung bear on 30, going up at 30, sir, 25 of them, you're out, I better dung bear on 25, better dung bear on 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Pogo the alligator. Alright, so I think this is the last one here. Proving murder is tough. Proving murder without the victim's body is even tougher, but not impossible. See, why didn't they just send this to the grand jury anyways? Okay? Yes, if you're out there watching and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. You'll be very disappointed the first time I'm bitching at you, but then you'll realize it's just one big family, okay? But go ahead and hit that subscribe. Oh, shit. No, it wasn't a Gila monster. He owned a Gila monster. Pogo was the alligator. Yeah. In fact, dozens of people in this country have gone to prison for murdering someone even though authorities could not find the victim's body. Included are several cases where the victim was officially listed as missing sometime for years before a murder charge was filed. Could such a precedent apply to the cases of Jane Wakefield, Lynn Schuler, and Denise Fraley? Well, yeah, I think for sure in like Lynn Schuler and the case that we discussed the other night. I mean, those are so obvious. While all 3 have been listed as missing for more than a decade, detectives are certain the women were murdered. Thanks, in the middle of nowhere, Bear. That damn machine, it just keeps getting you every time.
ST, smirking face.
You know, I looked at the stats from last night's show, and I lost 3 subs. Like it was that bad. Was that show last night that bad where I lost 3? I think it was just during the video, but I gained overall. But it's like, how in the hell did that happen? Jesus. Must have been LDOT. She probably got the hell out of here. Thank you. Furthermore, detectives in each case have identified a prime murder suspect, but detectives have failed to find enough evidence to convince prosecutors to charge any of the suspects with murder. The situation would change dramatically, detectives say, if the body of any of the missing women suddenly turned up, perhaps the most important piece of evidence in any murder case. The body was which not only proves the victim was killed, but also shows how. For obvious reasons, murderers have often gone to great lengths to conceal the victim's body. In recognition of that, American courts have adopted the principle that it is not always necessary to find the victim's body to prove murder. The principle has been used in dozens of murder convictions since then, based on the check by Gazette of American Legal Summary. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these, we've been talking about that. You might as well give it a shot, right? Because even if you don't win, at least you give it a shot. Instead, you're letting these people have no chance of being in prison. You're just letting them walk around, enjoying their lives. Thank you, Berserker Loci. Wakefield had filed for divorce 6 months earlier and moved from the couple's apartment into a mobile home at Bon Air, Iowa City. She had recently become romantically involved with another man, but found her divorce held up over disagreements on how... Yeah, that's exactly what we came up with. Yeah, that confidential informant was pretty interesting. Yeah. So a lot of these are the same newspaper articles that I find on newspapers.com. But anyways, that is it. And now we're about 2 hours in. But maybe I can make it a shorter night tonight and chill out for a while. You know, we got our big donation night tomorrow, though. That's for damn sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, those are pretty interesting, I think. There's a lot of them in Iowa, so I'm going to keep going through these. You know what's been sad that we've sort of stumbled upon lately is how many domestic violence cases there are. Murders or they're missing, but you know that they were murdered. It's just... And these people really plan them out. What was the name of that one case? Does anybody remember that from the other night? Was that... let's see. You guys remember the case where it was in... I think it was in Iowa. Yeah, was it Randolph? Let me see. That sounds right, kind of, I think. Yeah, Lillian, is that right? Yeah, you're right. Lillian Randolph. Yep, you got it. Right, because I just saw the first shot right here. There's the car at the airport, and she was in the trunk. Remember that? I think that's one I'm going to make a video on. That one right there. Because I think this one is really... It shows you sort of the... This one here should have been prosecuted. Don't you guys agree? I mean, really? I mean, the kids witnessing the witnesses that saw him talking to the two guys at the airport, the two guys at the golf course. He goes the wrong way. The timing of him taking his kids to the ice capades. And then he goes the wrong way, then drives by the house again intentionally, sees the car in front of the house. It was really obvious, that one. I gotta take this one out of here. Wait, Howard Randolph? Oh. I'm gonna move this to the Nefarious cases folder. There we go. Boom! I think that'll be a good one. Yeah, that one was so freaking obvious. You know. God. Brutal. Oh, sorry to hear that, Darlene. Chewbacca?
Chewbacca?
Oh.
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Yep. The slow clap. It's almost like you should go like this. Go. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, come on. No, thanks. Yeah. All right, everybody. I think that's going to be it for me tonight. Cairo's he's really busy right now. Yeah, he's got like 1,000 places. And I don't know. Just busy. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys thought those were interesting cases tonight. Thank you all for the supporting the channel. Moving into our final night tomorrow, the big day, hold on. Let's see, let me get the, look at this guy right here. He always holds it. He catches these fish, but he holds them up like that to the camera. You know, so that it looks like they're about double the size. Yeah, well, I hope you guys find them interesting. I do. The cold cases are the ones I'm the most interested in. I also like active cases that they've got elements to it, not just the simple sort of, oh yeah, I like to have a whole bunch of stuff going on. That's kind of why the Lori and Chad Daybell case was interesting at first, and then we stopped covering it because there was really no new information, but of course the channels that are out there doing the sub-mining and view mining, they'll just keep covering it into oblivion over and over again. And, I guess that's good for business, but it's also just not, I don't even think it's ethical. That? I think it's, the people that keep covering Morphew and Watts, they're not ethical YouTubers. They're in it purely for the views, and that's it. And subs. Yep. Up to 11. I think she's okay, though. The part that makes me think more likely she's okay is that her hair was cut. It seems like a conversation that was already had prior, maybe. I mean, it's just hard to... Why wouldn't you just cut somebody's hair after you got them into your car and you're on the way? You see, why the cutting of the hair inside the house is an unnecessary waste of time by an abductor. You understand? So you would have... A regular abductor, if you wanted to hide her appearance, would have abducted her to his vehicle, and then while driving, stop somewhere and cut her hair and do that kind of stuff. Okay? Got her away from the house. Instead, her hair's cut, and then she exits the house. I think she cut her, obviously she cut her hair herself. Yeah, we said that, Zozo. Yeah. Yeah, so she cut her hair herself, and then she left the house with whoever she decided to go leave the house with. I don't think anybody snuck up there and said, "Hey, come with me. Oh, but by the way, cut your hair first." That doesn't happen. Well, I mean, there's internet, Rebecca, right? And she could have actually just left on her own, She could have actually just said, "I want to get the hell out of here." But then, I don't think she would have thought of cutting her hair to do that. So I think I don't know. It's weird. I think she definitely, it seems more likely, 90%, that she cut her own hair and left. But as we've seen before, there's tons and tons of cases out there that seem one way and they're not. Oh, I'm sure he's still covering that. The sofa detective, there's still more to figure. Because here's what they do. They realize that I can spend the next 8 months trying to convince people that the girlfriend, North Korea, whatever the hell her name was, Nicole, right? I can convince everybody that she did it. So let's just spend hours and hours on total bullshit. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, somebody sent me a channel today that they've been doing YouTube for 3 months. They have 5,000 subs, which is pretty good in 3 months. And every single video that's on there was I think it was it Chris Watts? Yeah, Chris Watts. What was there to talk about in the last 3 months? See, now people are doing shows on the lunacy of everybody. But what they don't realize is they were the lunatics. Yeah. They were the ones that were lunatics. Man, that one emoji looks really sick. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Must be an Australian, right? Berserker Loci. And here we go. Zach Barnes. Yeah. Right. Well, that's why you would mention it. Oh boy. And there's Lee D, the other Aussie. Oh, and there's Bush and Beach Lifestyle. Look at all the Aussies in there. Are you Australian Berserker Loci? Crikey. Oh boy, here we go. Oh boy. Problem is they have such poor news in Australia to cover anything. It's just like you just get like barely any information. I'm just staring off into oblivion right now. I have no thoughts in my head. That's right. Crikey, mate. Or it's actually mate. Then whatever the hell. Oh boy. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to be it for the show tonight. Thank you all for showing up. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The Kubi. Julie W. Chrissy. In the middle of nowhere bear with a cat eye donation. Karen K. Mary Clark. Zozo. Seattle Law Girl. Kubi. Brianna CC. Lee D. Flip Treat. Linda Howell, as in Linda Moulton Howell of the cattle mutilations. In the middle of nowhere bear. Susanna Macula Padre. In the middle of nowhere bear again. Berserker Loci. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Very cool. Yep. See right behind me, we got Dana Dane and Carolina T artwork behind me there. Yeah. You guys want people to cover Zach Barnes when there's no information. Okay, here it is, everybody. Hey, Zach Barnes, they say he jumped out of a car on a road. Okay, thank you. If we could all... yeah, nothing. Okay. Oh, yeah, and it was friends, and they're all covering it up. Okay, next case, please. Thank you. Oh, and there's going to be an inquest. Okay, thank you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play. You guys can just hang out and chat for a while here. We'll do the 10-minute countdown, then it'll go back, and you can chat for a few extra minutes. But one of these days I might just... when's your birthday, Zozo? Yeah.
This video contains...
Oops. I meant to hit that one. Oh, that's coming up, man. I'm going to have to do a Zach Barnes night. This show will only be 5 minutes, but man, it'll be the best 5 minutes that we've ever had. Unbelievable.
Hey, I didn't get to say goodnight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, why don't you guys go through your pathetic routine again, where one of you says good night, and the other one, out of nowhere, says something where the other person gets upset, and then you go back and forth, bitching and bitching and bitching and bitching, and nothing ever gets resolved.
Gosh, Gray, you're so mean.
See what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm saying, right there. Same shit.
Okay, Gray, good. Good night, John boy.
Gosh, Gray, you're so mean to Mary Lou.
Wait, you should talk. You're always mean to Mary Lou. That's why she's crying every single night.
Oh, that's a good point, but I mean, geez, couldn't you let us go through our normal crap that we normally go through?
Well, I guess I could let you do it. So why don't you guys do the same crap that you normally do?
Okay, we will. Good night, Mary Lou.
Good night, John boy.
Wait, that's it? It had to take me saying something? And then, oh man, what a load of crap. Man, that's total bullshit right there. Okay? Anyways, make sure that you're washing your hands, maintaining your social distancing, and wearing a mask. Yeah, nah, you're right, Lady. Yeah, forget it.
How's it going, John boy? Boy, Gray was sure mean tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I'm still here, you idiots.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Gray, he was cool. He was cool.
Take a hunch, bet that I am the baby of the bunch, but that's okay, I still keep it stride, cause all I'm here to do is just another year behind, singing on and on and on and on and on. Hey, where'd the music go, Gray? Where'd the music go?
Well, it's starting over, you idiot.
Gosh, why do you have to call me an idiot?
Was that real?
Yeah, well, let me try it again.
Yeah, that's not much better.
Andre, Kevin Brown, Kubi, Zuzu B and Kubi, Zuzu Lady, Kevin Brown, and Sullivan, one of a kind, Kevin Brown and Zozo in the middle of nowhere bear. And there's J Case, he's on the case, you know J Case, he has a can, hit him with a can of mace. If he's gonna chase when he's in the race, J Case. Hit him in the face with a can of mace. Hit him in the face with a can of mace. J Case is on. It's J Case. Hit him with a can of mace. Hit him. J Case. Hit him in the face with a can of mace. J Case. Hit him in the face with a can of mace. Hit him in the face with a can of mace. Kobe, she wants a doobie. J Case, hit him with a can of mace. And Kobe, she wants to smoke a big fat doobie. Do 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 do. Zozo, she ain't no bozo. She walks down the street, but so, and no. Yeah. Zozo. She's like the clown. She's like that clown bozo. She says no. She'll put a 1 but she mean. She puts a 2 but means no. Zozo. She's like that clown bozo. She'll type a 2 but mean no. Do 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 do. That's pretty good. Jeez, Darlene, Jesus Christ. Man, you always take it one step too far, Darlene. One step too far, don't you? Zozo, she's like that clown bozo. When she types a 2, she means no. I like that one. Discerning light, she ain't right. She goes out all night. She gets in fight with Zozo, who punches her on the no-nos. They're not even your real names. What do you care? Nobody's born discerning light. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? Alright, everybody! That was fun! I've gotta get done! Gotta put some cream on my bun! Alright, everybody, good night! Be safe out there.